Electric vehicle, is it the future, or more specifically, is it the future of this country? Assalamualaikum and good greetings. So in this video, I'm just wondering about our future, in particular in my country with regard to electric vehicle. Now, I'm going to just show some news clips online where it triggers the interest of myself in this topic, right? And thinking forward about whether electric vehicle does have a strong future, or what does it take, etc. Perhaps first we go to this online, the Malaysian Reserve, and then this is an article. When was this? Okay, anyway, PM outlines 6 main approaches for climate change policies. So I'm just going to highlight several things here. So here basically the PM Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin has outlined 6 main approaches to be implemented by the government on climate issues according to the Ministry of Water and Environment. Right, so I'm going to straight away going here, this paragraph here. Tuan Ibrahim further said in the first My Climate Change Action Council meeting yesterday, the Council has agreed to implement the Low Carbon Mobility Development Plan 2021-2030, which is expected to reduce GHG emission by 165 million tons of CO2, saving fuel expenditure of 150 billion in a period of 10 years, driving a shift towards increased consumption, electric vehicles and low carbon transportation. Right, so electric vehicles is mentioned there, part of the bigger initiative. And let me bring to the next news, which is this is, I'm not sure whether this is a news, but it's a Poltan website where many updates about vehicle in Malaysia is featured here, right? So here, Malaysia's EV Roadmap, 100,000 CBU full electric cars tax free, 7,000 AC and 500 DC charging points proposed. This is in April 2021. Alright, so while the government has yet to officially announce its automotive electrification agenda for the country, ambitious plans look to be in store. If a study published by the Malaysian Green Technology and Climate Change Centre MGTC, formerly known as Green Tech, is any indication, right? So let's highlight several things here. The proposed policy contains 4 focus areas, 10 strategies and 45 action plans, and is wide-ranging, covering aspects of the reduction of greenhouse gas emission and energy reduction via fuel economy and emission improvement, as well as from adoption of alternative fuels such as biodiesel, but we'll take a closer look at the topic that is most relevant to us regarding electric vehicle or EV adoption. Right, so so this is basically some elements from the initiative, and I'm going to skip most of these things here, I think, right? Because it will have to discuss on the issue of the battery, etc. So PHEV, what else? Qualification will be put in place for PHEV, and then we have about the charging, about the bus and motorcycle. Yeah, so it just basically extract many information with regard to the initiative outlined by the agency mentioned earlier. Now, so some money involved here. For example, buses and motorcycles are also set to feature in the move towards electrification, with plans to establish an e-bus central procurement agency offering subscription of this to ministries and state governments. This will have a revolving fund of 550 million ringgit Malaysia for competitive leasing, as well as RM100 million annual fund. Support will be given to local manufacturing of EV buses. Right, so this indicates some push towards, of course, in the bigger scheme of low carbon, but towards electric vehicles. Now, I'm going to finally show one news article from our neighboring country, which is interesting, I would say. This is Jakarta Globe, about what is already happening there. EV battery giant CATL to invest $5.1 billion for a factory in Indonesia. This is from 2020 news. So, contemporary Amperex technology, or CATL, a battery manufacturer from China, has decided to invest $5.1 billion to build a manufacturing plant for electric vehicle batteries in Indonesia, the country's top investment officials said on Monday. Right, so 5.1 billion, that's a big investment for manufacturing of batteries, EV batteries specifically. And then it mentioned about CATL that actually booked 6.8 billion sales worldwide, making one of the world's largest electric car battery makers, and supply to all those companies: Hyundai, Honda, BMW, Tesla, Toyota, Volkswagen, and Volvo. And then what else? Because it's 2 years ago, CATL teamed up with Chinese stainless steel maker Tsingshan Holding, Chinese battery firm GM, Japanese trading firm Hanwha, and Indonesian industrial complex company Indonesia Morowali Industrial Park, a $700 million project to make battery-grade nickel chemical in Morowali, Central Sulawesi. So, meaning that 2 years ago, $700 million project is already ongoing, and now they will have further $5.1 billion. That's a big move there in our neighboring country. So, because why I'm interested in this is because how is this dynamic affect our country? And there are several news before where some companies shifted from Malaysia to Indonesia because of, the prospect over there. And then, as well as here, this is also interesting to me, Hyundai has started to build a factory in Delta Mas, Cikarang, despite the COVID-19 pandemic, with the full support of the governor and related ministers. Now it has 65% complete. And about the factory, Lee said the company targeted the factory, which cost $1.55 billion to build on 77.6 hectares of land, would start producing combustion engine cars by the end of 2021, which is this year, and electric cars in 2022, meaning that next year they already target to launch the EV from that factory. The factory commercial production capacity is projected to reach 150,000 units in the second half of 2021, which is because this news is last year, right? So if this goes ahead according to plan, meaning next month onward, it will start to produce, and they project to reach 150,000 units second half of this year, about 60% of its full capacity of 250,000 units per year. Right, so that's some of the news close to home, actually, related to electric vehicle. And yeah, with this news, I'm interested to see more about what will actually be happening, especially now. Unfortunately, in Malaysia, the pandemic is getting to a worse state in terms of the numbers per day of positive COVID cases. Not sure, because if I look at the stock market, it's going down with all of this happening. So I'm not sure about how it affected the whole initiative. It would, I would assume, but it might delay it a bit. Regardless, hopefully that something positive can be seen in the future. And with that theme, I think I will be watching some of and reacting some of videos relating to electric vehicles in the future, in the coming weeks. So just some head up, I would say. But anyway, that are some of the news. What do you think? If you are a car enthusiast in Malaysia or in Indonesia, what do you make of this news? So yeah, of course, if you are from the developed countries where EV is already making its move for several years already, I think, right? So what do you think about this news here in this part of the world? Okay, anyway, thank you for watching. See you next time.